Welcome to Knicksfandom. This is an independent New York Knicks fan-based podcast, which was created by fans for fans. The show is hosted by L.A. Blackwell, Danny, and Flo. They'll discuss the issues surrounding the Knicks, the NBA, and various other sports-related topics. Join us. It's going to be a heck of a ride.
I chant eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Lemonade was a popular drink and it still is. I get more props to stunts than Bruce Willis. A show like Knicksfandom can't lose. The Wick, that's a classic, listeners. And rest in peace to Gangstar. Gentlemen, in today's show, we give our thoughts regarding Kawhi Leonard finally being traded from the San Antonio Spurs for former Toronto Raptors star DeMar DeRozen. Moreover, we review Carmelo Anthony recently being traded from OKC. We also finished up reviewing some of the NBA trades and recent free agent signings that we didn't get to last show, such as Isaiah Thomas, Michael Beasley. We will also discuss the continuing impact of China and the fact that the Flying Tigers are currently in talks with signing Dwayne Wade. Also, Jahlil Okafor is being pursued by multiple Chinese teams as well. Moreover, we will explore the potential off-the-court impact of LeBron James signing with the Los Angeles Lakers. Lastly, during the Knicks Weekly Roundup segment, we will discuss the Knicks releasing Troy Williams and how they can potentially open up some much-needed salary cap space for next year's free agent signing period. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is episode 52 of our podcast on the Knicks Fandom. As always, I'm your host, L.A. Blackwell. Hope all listeners out there are doing great. Glad you joined my co-host, Flo. How you doing, Flo?
L.A., I'm great today, brother. How you doing today, man?
Doing well, man. Also glad you joined my fellow co-host, Danny D. How you doing, Danny D?
What's going on, L.A.? How's everything, man?
Doing all right, fellas. Also got some good news for our listeners, fellas. Finally, we are also on Spotify. We've been waiting for that for a while. It finally went through. So you can find your favorite Knicks Fandom NBA show on Spotify as well, listeners. So make sure to check us out on that also. We're going to jump right into today's listeners. We'll start with NBA talk. All right, fellas, we've been talking about this for a while. Finally, the other shoe dropped, and Kawhi Leonard was traded from the San Antonio Spurs along with Danny Green, and he was traded for DeMar DeRozan, Jakob Patel, and a protected first-round pick 2019, which is protected 1 through 20. Fellas, what did y'all think about this trade overall? Starting with you, Danny D.
The trade finally went down, and I have to say the trade overall, I think it's a good trade. And I say good trade because for the Spurs, we have to say it's okay because they get somebody who was an all-star for the last 2 years, even though it was in the East, and that Kawhi didn't want to stay there anymore. Kawhi didn't want to leave, and they basically was working on press time, and they got not equal value, but they got some value back for Kawhi with DeMar DeRozen, who can score, who can put up buckets and things like that, and hopefully he can fit in the system. And for Toronto, you got an MVP caliber if he's healthy enough to do that, and also a guy who plays defense. And the only problem that I see with the trade is that, like when we talked about it, guys, is that if Kawhi is up to par and if Kawhi stays, that's the problem because you're going for a home run right now. For me personally, I would try to keep the core that we have, but they try to make some moves in the East and try to do some things, and they brought Kawhi over. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah, we're going to get into this one. I hear where you coming from, Danny D. It's a lot of ways to go with this deal. Kind of felt one way when I first heard it, kind of felt a different way later on. What you thought about it, Flo? Thank you, Danny D.
L.A., let's break this down. DeMar DeRozan, 28 years old, 3 years left on his contract, going to the Spurs. Also, Jakob Poeltl, serviceable big man, 22 years old. In Toronto, you get Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, top 3 player in this league after LeBron James and KD, Kevin Durant, 27 years old. We already know right now with Kawhi Leonard, he doesn't need the money. The Spurs had an opportunity to offer him the Supermax deal on July 16, 5 years, $215. Kawhi wanted no money, no extra money whatsoever. So this is not about money. Then Kawhi just wanted out of San Antonio. Danny Green going to Toronto also. 31 years old, a 3-and-D player, but again, a player with an expiring contract. With Masai Ujiri, currently the GM of the Toronto Raptors, he didn't really give up much to get Kawhi Leonard, so he took a risk. Possibility Kawhi could leave and the Raptors will rebuild. I've been hearing rumblings that Masai Ujiri wanted to trade DeMar DeRozan ever since he gave him that big contract 2 years ago, according to Pablo Estori of ESPN. So once again, it's a trade that both teams felt like they had to make, especially with Pop. Pop said, "Oh, you want to play with San Antonio? You know what? I'll ship you to another country," and that's what he did with Kawhi. Shipped him out of the U.S. To me, it's I'm normally the best player. You get the best player in this deal. You get the best player in this deal. Overall, that team wins the trade, and that's Toronto. You get Kawhi Leonard, but again, he's a rental. So I'm gonna lean towards Toronto in this deal, but not much. Only because Toronto did not give up all of their role players, like Pascal Siakam, Norman Powell, Fred VanVleet, OG Obanubi, players like that. So I'm leaning towards Toronto, but just by a small margin.
Yeah, I hear where you're coming from as well, Flo. I agree with a lot of what you said, too. It's a tough deal looking at it from the outside. First, I was leaning towards San Antonio because I said everybody knew that Kawhi wanted to get traded. And it's very hard to trade somebody when everybody in the league know he wants to leave. You always end up getting quarters versus dollars. And to get an all-star player back when everybody knew that's a good move. You also got him under contract, which means you don't have to worry about him pulling Kawhi the same way. And you got a guy that's going to be there for the next 2 years or so, next 3, I should say, with LaMarcus Aldridge. And that should help out Pop because they say he only want to coach another 2 years or so. And this team is still trying to be a win-now team. So I get it in that respect. And you got something. You wasn't forced and bullied to trade him to the Lakers, which I liked about that. I like that as well. But looking at overall, and I don't know if y'all agree with this, but I'm looking at Toronto, and I hear Masai Ujiri catching a lot of heat because he said he kind of told Kawhi he wasn't going to be dealt. This NBA things happen, but this is why a lot of people don't feel you show loyalty to the teams anymore. And I think that's pretty much over with now from both respects, team-wise and player-wise. This is going to change a lot of things versus Isaiah Thomas, how that happened. Now players are going to look at this league a whole lot different going forward. But I can't really blame your jury the same way. At the end of the day, I got to go to wrestling, fellas, and think one thing that they said back with Vince Kennedy McMahon. He told Bret Hart one thing. Bret screwed Bret. And at the end of the day, Kawhi, not Kawhi, but DeRozan, you screwed DeRozan. You got knocked out 3 years. 3 straight postseason you lost to LeBron and got swept. And then in the last playoff, you got swept 0-4. And look at the field goal percentage, fellas. 43% for DeRozan, 0 for 9 from threes, 4 rebounds he averaged, 2 assists, 16 points, and 31% from three-pointers and 43% field goal, I should say. That's not going to get it done, fellas. You get swept twice, you pretty much wrote your ticket out of town at that point. And that's what you got to look at it. Versus Kawhi Leonard is one of the few players that stood up to LeBron and actually played better than him and kind of shut him down a little bit. He's a 2014 Finals MVP. He won 2 times. He finished the top 3 MVP voting and 2-time winner league Defensive Player of the Year. And he's a better three-point shooter than DeRozan with 31% DeRozan. Kawhi had 30% his last full season was healthy. That's as he's healthy. I know that's a big thing. But you got to take that player when you get him because he's not going there ordinarily. You know that. Toronto don't get players like that, especially with the tax situation. A lot of players do not like going over there. It's cold. All that play into it. So I understand where the jury's coming from, but everything's going to fall him now. You got rid of the coach, got rid of one of the fan favorites. And, DeRozan, I think that's what hurt a lot of people is that off the court, he did a lot for sick kids in hospitals, mental health awareness. He did after-school program with 3,000 books to low-income Toronto school students. So I get why he's a fan favorite with that, but at the end of the day, it's business, fellas. What do y'all think about that? You think DeRozan was right to be upset? What do you think about it, Danny D?
Oh, definitely have a right to be upset, things like that. But, because, look at you. You're emotional. But, of course, emotion goes through because that's where you got drafted from. You went and talked to somebody during summer league. Allegedly he said he's not getting traded. But, you like I tell you guys all the time, that man don't owe him nothing. Just because at the end of the day, majority is still his boss. My boss can tell me something today. I don't have to believe it. You can take a word for advice, but you always have to have your guard up. Danny Green said he was at home. Pop called him on the phone. Danny Green was asleep. Pop called him on the phone, and he called him back and he let him know. So the majority don't owe you nothing. It's a part of the game. It is business. You still getting you got how much you got left? You got 3 years left, 2 years left at $83.2 million on your deal, and you're going to a state that have no income tax, you'll be okay. You'll be all right, brother. It's not no disloyalty. It's a disloyalty. It waives you and they kick you out the NBA. You still getting paid, brother. You'll be all right.
Okay. I thought he paid a little more because it's outside of that. That he's gonna pay more in taxes.
Oh, yeah, he paid more. Yeah,
he's gonna lose a little money with that, though. Yeah. That's a negative
money.
for him.
We talking about
for DeRozan.
No,
I mean for Kawhi.
Oh, Kawhi, Kawhi's gonna pay more. Yeah, right. Definitely. But I said DeRozan can get more money because you have.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Got you. Yeah, very true. Very true. What you think about that, Flo? You think he had a right to be upset, or what do you think about this? That's business in the NBA right now.
It's tough. It's real tough because it is business in the NBA, so nothing should surprise us. But it's bad. It's bad optics when you tell a player after meeting him during the summer league that we're not going to trade you, and then you trade him. It is bad because you should at least be honest with him. Say, listen, man, we're out there. We're shopping around. At least let them know. Listen, we're shopping around. That's all. We're just trying to find the best deal possible. But it is business as usual in the NBA. There's no loyalty. So, but I gotta say something. Players gotta realize something. You gotta thank LeBron James for one thing: empowerment. When LeBron decided to leave Cleveland and go to Miami, I don't think NBA players really realize that you're free to go sign with any NBA team of your choice. So I think a guy like DeRozan, he should just accept the trade. Look at the bright side, like D mentioned. You don't pay no state income tax going to Texas. So you're getting more money, and you get a chance to play in his pop system where you can actually become a better defender. He's 28 years old. There's room for DeRozan to grow because remember, he's just reaching the prime of his career. The sad part about this, him getting traded from Toronto, is that when I think of Toronto, I think of three people. I think of the late, great Roy Halladay. I used to pitch the Toronto Blue Jays. I think of Drake. And I think of DeMar DeRozan. Because think about it, gentlemen. DeRozan is considered the fourth franchise player in history. Number one, you got Vince, got traded to the Nets. You got Tracy McGrady, who left to go to Orlando. You got Chris Bosh, who decided to play with his boys in Miami, D. Wade and LeBron James. And now you got DeRozan, the fourth franchise player there, who's pretty much probably broken every franchise record right now, playing 9 years in Toronto. So I do think of DeRozan as Toronto. And LA, you mentioned it before, this guy is really a charitable guy. There's a lot of charitable organizations. He's invested in the city of Toronto, him and his wife. So it's tough. It's really tough. I do agree with a lot of these fans. I think they should consider really doing a beautiful tribute to DeRozan.
Yeah, these teams ain't loyal. No, they ain't. But I still think of Vince Carter first. But I hear where you coming from. And like you said, Danny D, I agree with you in that your contract pays you that. So if you got to go, you're going to have to go at the end of the day. But the thing is, these players got to look at it. If you want it both, you can't have it both ways. If you don't have it both ways, you got to put yourself on the line. Okay, you want to be a businessman, you want to be able to move around, fine. That's the new era you want to do, you got it. But guess what? You can't say you want to be at the team 4 or 5 years and then say, don't get rid of me, and still want the same money. It don't work that way because now the team's going to do what's best for them at the end of the day. They gave y'all a chance. If y'all the one, guess what? All y'all still been in Toronto. You didn't win. You won the regular season, you got bumped again. And you got swept. And you came up short numbers-wise, like I stated already. You can't keep going back. We talked about this before this even happened, fellas, and I asked y'all. And I said, do you think this team can be broken up? And we all agreed, said, break it up. It's done. And if you got a chance to break with the second-best player in the league at that time, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you would say after LeBron, you got to take him, even if he hurt or not. And the best thing about it, okay, let's say Kawhi get up and leave next year. Fine. Guess what? You got max cap space for one spot now. 2 years from after that, Lowry come off the books and Ibaka. Now you got a chance to build and get 2 or 3 players all at one time between 1 year difference. You got to take that chance. Try to hit a home run. If you don't, you got cap space after that to go and do a total rebuild. Now, whether Masai or Jerry's going to be the guy to do that is up to ownership. That's what they got to realize at that point. But the other thing going forward you have to look at, to me, is realize at the end of the day, these players going to have to say, I'm going to have to do like LeBron and do 1-year deals if I want to control where I want to go and not be traded, or do like Carmelo did and say, put me in no trade clause. Play well enough that a team say, I'm going to get no trade clause and get my years and money. If you don't play that well, that ain't going to happen. Because teams are going to cover themselves just like players are covering themselves now. They scared to get caught up there like Isaiah Thomas did. Kawhi scared to get hurt just like the same way, it appears. So that's what teams going to do at this point, to me. Another question I asked y'all regarding this trade, fellas. Who do you think won the trade overall, just looking at it after we went through everything just now? Do you still feel with Toronto, or you feel like it was the Spurs? Starting with you, Flo.
LA, I'm going to answer that question, then I want to ask you a question. So the answer to that question, Toronto. But like I said, just by a small margin. Toronto won this trade. Got the best player out the deal in Kawhi Leonard, especially when he's healthy. The big if is he healthy, number one. But again, Masai Ujiri had to swing for the fences and take a risk. He's doing that. Like you said in LA, you mentioned earlier, I don't think Masai Ujiri is coming back. I'm going to be honest with you. I think if Kawhi doesn't resign, he ain't coming back. I think Ujiri will be fired. That's just my opinion. Because the question I want to ask you, LA, is, yes, I agree. Me and D, we mentioned the team should have been broken up. But no one knew that LeBron was going to LA yet. We had an idea he was leaving Cleveland, but it wasn't official yet. Because if it was official, then, the Lakers would have been accused of tampering. So my question to you
Not the first time they got accused of that. Not to rub you there, Flo.
LA ain't, trust me, not going to be the last time. Trust me. Not going to be the last time with Magic Johnson. Trust me. My question to both of you guys is, let's say Masai Ujiri never fired Dwayne Casey, never traded for Kawhi Leonard. He has DeMar DeRozen, and LeBron left. Do you still keep that team for one more year?
No.
And make a run?
Me personally, no. I think that team doesn't show you what they're about. They did 2 years. They got swept. I know it's by LeBron. Okay, but when you look at that, after that, nobody else got swept by LeBron after that. That shows y'all was a peg underneath everyone else. Boston took them to 7. Pacers took them to, what, 6 or 7? They took them 7 too?
7.
So why was you the only team that got swept? That means y'all wasn't that good. Y'all was a regular season facade, man. So, no, that team had to go. I like DeRozan as an okay, good player. But once again, he's not a top 2 player to me. He's a third player. He's not 1 or 2. And he's shown that repeatedly in the playoffs. So, no, to me, I got a chance to get Kawhi. Even if he's not healthy, I'm taking that chance because he's a much better player on both sides of the ball. He's a guy that can do like LeBron did last year and dominate the whole league in the East. East is still open, and it's wide open now with LeBron gone. No reason he can't take that spot. This team is a better team now versus that team to me on paper. You got Danny Green who could cover people defensive-wise. You got Kawhi who could cover people. And the big thing, OG Anunoby, is very similar to how Kawhi was when he came in the league. I love that he can mentor this kid now. This is a guy he should put under his wing, and they should be best buddies on that team. Them two on the perimeter with Danny Green as a 2-guard or something, I love how they can move around now. That's like how Boston's trying to do with Tatum and Jaylen Brown. That's what you're seeing in the Warriors. Love that. Much better look than me. Had to make that move. What you think about it, Danny D?
No, you got to make the move, Flo, because like you told Flo in the last podcast, Flo, remember, with Toronto, you said it yourself, Flo. Remember, it was fake numbers because remember, Boston didn't have all their players. Remember, Gordon's coming back and Kyrie's coming back healthy. So that win, it was a factuated win. So those 53 or 54 wins, it wasn't real wins. They really, naturally, they should have won in around the 40 range. Mm-hmm. All those guys for Philadelphia, all those guys are hurt. All these guys are coming back now. So you're going to bring the same team, and you're going against better competition. And I got to go with Toronto edging out winning because you already know what this team is made up out of, and they couldn't do it. And Dwayne, like I said, if you would have changed over, I maybe would have kept Dwayne Casey, but we still had to make a move with the players, though. You had to make a couple of moves, though, to change it up a little bit. Because you already know you tried 2 or 3 years, and the main focus is to make it to the Eastern Conference Final and win. I don't give a damn about no regular season. It's with the playoffs where the money counts.
Exactly. And that team ain't getting no younger. All these guys in their prime right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got some young rookies that look good and 2-year players and stuff, but the core is getting older. So you had to make that move to me. Anything else you want to add to that, Flo, if we can move to the next topic?
Nah, those are great points, especially the excellent points.
Okay. Y'all listeners can let us know what you think in the comment section as well. Fella, I'm going to talk about Carmelo Anthony, former Knick. He was traded to the Hawks from OKC, and they stated he's going to be waived, most likely, and a 2022 protected first round pick and a pick protected 1 through 14, it becomes 2 second-round picks if it's not conveyed in that first year. For Dennis Schroeder and Mike Muscala. Sorry for pronunciation. Fellas, what you thought about this trade? They've been talking about Melo being dealt for a while. It finally happened. What you thought about it, Flo?
This is tough for Carmelo Anthony because, boy, he's really fallen. The last 12 months, he's played for 3 different teams, about to play for a 4th team, potentially with the Houston Rockets. Melo started with the Knicks, got shipped to OKC. I'm just trying to recap right now for Enes Kanter and for Doug McDermott. Now he's being traded to Atlanta, possibly, like I said, being bought out, and again, probably going to Houston. So that's 1, 2, 4 teams in the last 12 months for Carmelo Anthony. That's a shame, man. It's a shame. This is a guy who's supposed to be a future Hall of Famer who probably won't even make it on the first 2 ballots. And gentlemen, I think I've said this before. I think Melo makes it on the 3rd or 4th ballot. I think I've said this before. It's a shame. But again, LA, I said it to you a couple weeks ago. I'm going to say it again. I could tell OKC, Sam Presti had some plans, and this is a great trade for OKC. They won this deal. No disrespect to Carmelo Anthony, but at this point in his career, Dennis Schroeder is a better basketball player right now. OKC won this deal. Hands down. They won this deal. Not even close.
Yeah, how the mighty has fallen like Alicia Keys, man. What you think about Danny D?
Yeah, they get rid of that enormous contract where Carmelo opted in, and I tell you guys, and the thing is, when we started this Knicks fandom show, we had praise for Carmelo. Don't get me wrong, I love Carmelo as a basketball player and things like that. But the only thing I get so heated with Carmelo is you chase the money, but Carmelo, money's not everything when it comes down to the skill set, Carmelo. If Carmelo would just listen, and listen to the people around him and base his thing on basketball moves primarily and not the money, the Knicks could have been in a better situation, and he would have been in a better situation. But money trumps everything, I see.
And it's bad. You just totally true there, Danny D. And the thing is with Melo, he don't want to change his game. He's not the same Melo no more. Physically, he's not as quick as he was. He get hurt a lot more than he used to. So it's like either come off the bench or change your game and go in the post more. I mean, you're trying to shoot these threes. You're not a great three-point shooter percentage-wise. So it's like change your game and make the team win. That's what they really thought was going to happen last year in the Thunder. And you can see that team really fell off. So it's like you are not helping this team going forward. And Oklahoma City, we got on them a lot last episode, rightfully so in my opinion, but they helped themselves out a lot cap-wise because they must have heard us in the episode, Phil. They're like, you got to get on this cap. And the big thing they improved with them, they saved $73 million basically this season because now their projected luxury tax bill drops from $150 to $88.8 million, a saving of $62 million. And that allows them to go after one more of a player somewhere while they could try to make a little move during the season. I mean, still got Adams and everything on their contract, and they got Schroeder, which is a big drop cap-wise. But if they use Schroeder in the starting lineup, we talked about off the air, fellas, and move Westbrook a little bit to the 2 guard somewhat, that's going to help things out a lot because Westbrook just shoots the ball way too much for me right now. So if you can take the ball out of his hand, use him more off the guard, that would help him out. That would help Paul George, Adams, all of them out. And also the coaching-wise, I think that's going to help him a lot with Melo being gone. Because I think he's the guy who was kind of not letting the coach, not letting Donovan do his thing. And I thought he was a real good coach the year before. So, we'll see where they go from there. What else you want to add to that, Flo?
I think Schroeder will probably be the 6th man off the bench. I believe he's got 2 years left on his contract. He's 24 years old. This guy started, I believe, 161 games for the Atlanta Hawks since he's been there. Remember, he was sitting behind Jeff Teague. Jeff Teague was his mentor in Atlanta. So, again, Dennis Schroeder is a great ball player, young, undersized, unfortunately. I believe he's 6'1", 175 pounds. I know he's got some legal issues he's got to deal with. He's already informed Sam Presti and the Oklahoma City Thunder about his legal issues, so they're not concerned. Like you said before, LA, they spoke before they made this deal happen. They spoke to him before. So, and I'm pretty sure Paul George and Russell Westbrook was aware of this deal was going to go down. I don't think Paul George signed him down the line thinking, oh, it's just going to be him and Westbrook. No way. No way possible. I think Sam Presti was honest with him, letting him know we're gonna make some moves that's gonna help. That's gonna help you out. And this was a smart move overall by OKC. Remember, you're getting a healthy Andre Roberson back. If he can work on his jump shot, if he want to contact any one of us, a Knicks fandom, we're available. Seriously, because my oh my, Roberson can't even shoot the ball, man. This guy shoots so many bricks, man. He can build a house, man. It's a shame. It really is, man. But healthy Andre Roberson, Schroeder coming off the bench. Potentially he might start. You slide Westbrook to the 2, but I think he's going to be a 6-man. This is just my opinion. Healthy Paul George. You still got Steven Adams, playing tough guy role, grabbing rebounds, being aggressive defensively. They got an interesting team. They really got an interesting team. They can really build on the success from last season.
Yeah. I think Schroeder's going to probably come to the bench and do like they did with Reggie Jackson. But, like in key, like maybe playoff time, when they do their little death lineups, as they like to call them, you'll see stuff like that end of the game, closing games out there. You'll see them go to that 3-guard lineup, things like that.
Definitely.
But just looking at overall, this is once again what happened like DeRozan on a little smaller level in that if Carmelo would have played like they thought he was going to play, he would still be here. And he just wouldn't adjust his game. He was very selfish to me looking at from the outside in. And he just wasn't doing what's best for the team at the end of the day. And he's not the player that he was, so it's like, why bother with it? Your defense is falling off. So it's like, go another direction. But if you would play the way they thought, even where close, he'd still be in OKC. Maybe not looking at the money-wise. I think it still took one more chance for him. I want to talk about Jeremy Lin, fellas, who was recently traded to the Atlanta Hawks from the Brooklyn Nets. The Nets received the Hawks' 2020 second-round pick and the rights to the Hawks' 2016 second-round pick, Isaiah Cordiner. The Nets will send the Hawks a 2025 second-round pick and the rights to swap second-round picks in 2023. The Nets also rid themselves of Lin's $12.5 million expiring contract. What do you think about this move, fellows? Starting with you, Danny D.
Oh, it's a move that I think is an excellent move by the Nets. They had to let him go. You think about it. Jeremy Lin is turning 30. And you think about it, guys. He missed, out of 164 games, he missed 127 games with hamstrings and knee injuries. So I think it's a good move by the Nets. Even though some fans in Brooklyn are very upset. I'm upset for what, man? He didn't play.
That's true. People still remember the sanity. That's the thing. What you think about that, Flo?
LA, once again, D's correct on this one. It's a great move by Sean Marks and the Brooklyn Nets. Shout out to Mr. Nets. I know he loved this deal. I'm pretty sure of it. Again, the Nets are just replenishing their draft stock. That's all they're doing. Thank you, Billy King, for screwing up the Nets. So, again, Sean Marks is doing an excellent job here. Excellent job. Yes, I know you get rid of an expiring contract of Jeremy Lin. I get it. But, again, you're getting a draft pick in return. Where Lin, he gets a chance to start all over again in Atlanta, and he becomes a mentor to Trae Young. So, it's a win-win for Jeremy Lin and the Brooklyn Nets. But the Nets won this deal hands down. No disrespect to Atlanta Hawks, but the Nets won this deal.
When I think about Jeremy Lin, I think about an old song, fellas. And the song goes, you don't know what you got till it's gone. Joni Mitchell never lie. Jeremy Lin, he should have stayed in New York. I don't know why he went to Houston. He should have stayed right here for that spot. Because he never been the same since then. From injury-wise to numbers-wise, all his numbers went down since then. And just look at the team he's been with, fellas, real quick. Houston, the Lakers, I think somewhere else he went. I forgot the other one. Brooklyn, and now Atlanta Hawks. It's like everybody think the grass is green on the other side. Sometimes it just ain't. Take a L and take a little bit less, but he wanted to go there and they did that contract, that weird contract with Houston and everything. Not a good move. And that's what I think about Jeremy Lin. And just the injury bug really crushed him. And that's what you got to look at. But from the Nets perspective, great move with them. You know what they trying to do, fellas. Cap space, picks. Replenishing that stock. That's all they're doing. Little by little, they're showing how to rebuild a team. And Sean Marks did a great job. He's like the anti-Billy King, man. He did everything that Billy King did wrong. He doing right. It's like Bizarro world with that guy. Bizarro Superman over there. So great job by Sean Marks. Keep doing it. Billy King, stay as far away from the Nets as you can. That's it. Don't even get a ticket to the Nets. You don't deserve that. Stay away from them. But I want to get to that, fellas. Another move by the Nets, which recently happened. was Kenneth Faried, Darryl Arthur, and 2019 pick, first round pick. Once again, doing a lot of lottery protections. 1 through 12 was traded to the Nets for Isaiah Whitehead and a future second round pick. Denver will most likely release Whitehead during this pick, and that would free them up with $21 million in salary, because Faried was making $13.8 million. But also recently, Arthur was traded for Jared Dudley in a second round pick, a 2021 pick, protected second round pick, I believe. That's what Flo told me earlier. And he's going to the Nets. So a lot of movement just happened. Fellas, I want to get into that real quick. What you thought about this other move by Sean Marks and the Nets? Starting with you, Flo.
LA, once again, Sean Marks is showing everybody he's the smartest GM in the NBA right now. Right now, I think he's better than Danny Ainge. I'll say it right now. Better than Danny Ainge. Way better than Danny Ainge. Right now, Sean Marks, Dennis Lindsey of Utah Jazz. Those two guys are the best GMs in the game right now. Hands down. Sean Marks, man, oh man. He's, again, building his draft stock once again. Acquiring players that's going to fit in Kenny Atkinson's system. Jared Dudley, 11-year vet. He's got a 9.5 expiring contract. He averaged 40% from 3 in his NBA career. Averaged 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in 23 minutes in his NBA career. 6'7", 215. Matter of fact, lost 10 pounds over the summer, so he's a little bit slimmer. Small ball 4. He's going to fit well in Kenny Atkins' system. Great deal by Sean Marks. Great deal. I can't even, as much as I want to criticize him for getting Jared Dudley, because he's not, he's not how would I say this? He's not the best role player, but he serves a purpose. He's been in this league for 11 years. Smart move.
Oh, yeah. Jared Dudley, and he's a good guy off the court. I mean, I heard him talk. I haven't really seen no issues with him. But, he's very eloquent when he talks. And he's definitely going to do some broadcasting down the road, I think. I can see him in that capacity. So I think definitely help out the young guys. And the big thing is that he got 1 year left, fellas. So after this $9 million, he's an unrestricted free agent. All they think about is cap space and cap space and cap space and getting picks. So, much I want to go against him. Shout out to Mr. Nets. I know you're going to listen to this episode as well. I want to go against him and say what they're doing is wrong, but I just can't. Man. Sean Marks is writing the blueprint, man. 3.0. What else you think about Danny D?
Yeah, that's right. You bring in Jared Dudley, inspired contract, and he can mentor these young guys that they're bringing over about the game, the NBA business. And also, they're trying to make that run 2019, 2020. They open it up. They're trying to get some max players over there, and they're going to have the money to do so.
Yep, that's exactly what they're doing. And they're hoping their point guard can play well. D'Angelo Russell this year to make him even more, make the free agents want to come over there if he played well. Got a solid young point guard. And they could go in any direction. This depends who's willing to sign on that contract and want to build over here. That's the main thing. And not look at his little brother versus the Knicks, But that's why I really want the Knicks to try to open more cap space, which we're going to get into later in the show, listeners. But that's pretty much it regarding some of the trades we didn't talk about earlier. I want to go through briefly some quick free agent signings that we didn't get a chance to talk about during the last episode, fellas. And one of them was Isaiah Thomas, who finally got signed. And he was signed to the Denver Nuggets for a 1-year deal at $2 million. Ooh, a big drop off, man, what he thought he's going to get. Let's start with you, Danny D. What you thought about that deal?
Hey, man, it's not a brink truck, but hey, it still can pay the bills, man. There's nothing wrong with that, because how it was, some people, when let's talk about it. When they did the trade, we talked about that injury. I said, I don't know. It's going to be the same, guys. He said, I ain't no doctor, but the injury he has, you're going to need surgery, brother. And he ended up getting surgery and things like that. And I'm just fortunate that he's still in the league and he's getting $2 million to prove himself in Denver, and he can move on from there.
Yeah, he playing against playing underneath a young point guard, which is really good out there as well, which means he don't have to do too much, is on his shoulders. I was hoping he'd get a deal with maybe like New Orleans or Orlando and get more playing time, but I guess all you could get at this point. You just hoping for the best. Like you called it, Danny D, even before it happened, which is bad to see it happen in that regard. But he's still in the league. Hope he stay healthy. And the sad part is, I read something he said after the deal went down. He said, I just want to go somewhere where I was wanted. And that's bad when you think about where he started in Boston. Just hear that from there. I felt bad for him, even though he making $2 million. But just to hear that way he was at and just wanted to go somewhere he's wanted, tough, man. What you think about his flow?
LA, let me say this real quick because I'm a little bit annoyed. So I'm going to say this. I know that Isaiah Thomas wanted 5 years, $20 million. And I know that Danny said no. He was on the verge of offering Isaiah Thomas 3 years, $100 million, which was the same deal that Kyle Lowry received from the Toronto Raptors. I thought that was a fair offer. And unfortunately, injuries and him being traded didn't work out for him. You know what's insulting to me overall?
What's that?
We have some players that signed for cheap deals, such as Isaiah Thomas, that we know is a better ball player than Ron Baker. That's the sad thing. It really is. It's a sad thing. Isaiah Thomas gets $2 million. Ron Baker is making $4.5 million, and Isaiah Thomas is making $2 million. That's a slap in the face, man. It really is, man. It's a slap in the face to Isaiah Thomas, and it's a slap in the face to all NBA fans. Very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
No, I hear you. Hard to argue with that one. Well, we'll see what happens as we go along, fellas. Next thing I want to talk about real quick is Jabari Parker, who was recently signed by the Chicago Bulls for a 2-year deal. The second year, I found out, is a team option. So they did cut themselves in that regard for $40 million. $40 million. What do you think about this deal? Starting with you, Flo.
LA, I wish we had Mr. Chicago Bull on this show to talk about this, but we don't. But this is a bad deal by the Bulls. Once again, I don't know what they're doing in Chicago, but you know what? All it does is just make the Knicks big winners in this because, again, they're pissing away their money right now. You signed Zach LaVine, giving him big money. You gave him Jabari Parker big money, $20 million a year, 2 years, 40. It's a lot of money for a guy that's just recovering from knee surgery. It really is. And this is not his first knee surgery. I believe this is like his second or third knee surgery he's recovering from. It's a lot of money, man. It really is. A lot of money for Jabari Parker. You're pretty much paying him based on potential. Based on potential. Here's a guy that fell. It's supposed to be Milwaukee's supposed to be his team. Once he got hurt the first time, Milwaukee drafted the Greek Freak. Boy, oh boy. He made up for it, boy. He made up for it. That's one thing for sure. He made up for it. Got his money. I don't think he deserved it, but he got his money. So, Jabari Parker, good luck to you. Hopefully you can, rejuvenate your career in Chicago. But I don't know what the Bulls are doing over there. I really don't. It's a bad deal by Chicago. Good deal for Jabari Parker. Bad deal by Chicago. All Knicks fans should be happy and rejoicing.
Okay. It's going to be interesting. What you thought about that, Danny D? What you thought about that deal for Jabari Parker?
It's a great deal for Jabari Parker, get the money and things like that. But I just want to know for the Bulls, what kind of facility, what kind of doctors they have to make sure this is okay. Because, like I said, you're basically giving the money on potential. But the thing is, he's a young guy, and hopefully everything works out. Because, like you said, it was other deals out there that he didn't go. Me personally, I wouldn't have gave him that. Maybe I'd have looked at maybe in maybe the 18, something a little bit, the 15 range out there for the millions for Jabari. But hopefully everything works out for Chicago. And I don't know what direction Chicago is looking at, because think about it. Zach LaVine is coming off an injury. Jabari Parker is coming off an injury. And you're still having a problem with your point guard situation. So what are y'all trying to do? I'm just trying to find out, what are y'all trying to build in Chicago, and what mold are you doing?
And where are you going to play him at? That's the thing. I mean, you got a log jam up there, fellas.
I don't know.
Let me address that, LA. According to Chicago Sun-Times, I believe the starting lineup is this. You got the point and Chris Dunn. Zach LaVine is the 2. They're gonna have Jabari Parker at the 3. And LAD, I've mentioned this before in the text message. I think Jabari Parker is too slow to play the 3. I think he's a 4. You got Lauri Markkanen playing the 4, and then you have Wendell Carter playing the 5. That's the projected starting lineup for Chicago Bulls, according to Chicago Sun-Times.
Yeah, but then, like you say, you come off 2 ACL injuries, man, surgery.
Yeah.
That's a lot to come off of, man. A lot.
And you're going against small folks who are balling. You're not going against these are young guys out there with no surgeries who jumping out the gym to be, you know what I'm saying? At least at the 4 you can bang small forward. You know how much lateral movement you're gonna have to stay with small forwards? Because these small balls are hybrids. These guys are guards. These guys have 55-inch bursts and shooting threes and stuff like that. Maybe the doctors know that he's in his best shape of his life. So, maybe, he's back to normal.
And the big thing I'm looking at with Jabari Parker, fellas, is that he need to think two individuals. Well, one, the team-wise, because Milwaukee did not have to resign him and let him get that rights so he can go to Chicago and get that type of cap space. Get that type of deal. But the biggest name who he need to think, and I don't go through this a lot, is his agent, Mark Bartelstein, one of the top agents in the NBA. Top 3 or 4 agents when you look at Who's Hype and things of that nature. This guy is known to give people the money. He is the Jerry Maguire on this thing, and he got this guy his money. I don't know what he said in there when they got in that room, but he presented a way that Chicago felt they had to overbid because they wasn't bidding against nobody else for that type of money. I don't know what else they was thinking or who else was going to jump in there at the end, but they get that type of deal when people getting $5 million for Boogie and $2 million for Isaiah, and you getting $20 million a year. And you ain't even make no all-star team or nothing? That says a lot, man. Great job by Ballstein there. That's what I'm looking at. But another guy I want to talk about with free agent signing was Michael Beasley, who recently signed, former Knick, signed a 1-year deal for $3.5 million with the Lakers. See, that's one of them big deals I was telling you about LeBron's going to get there, Flo. What you talk about this deal? Bringing Michael Beasley over to the Lakers. What do you about that, Flo?
L.A., Michael Beasley's known as the walking bucket. The guy is a scorer. A scorer. You know, Jordan, I'm sorry. LeBron, I apologize. LeBron.
What?
LeBron will be happy. He's got another scorer to play with. He should be happy. It's a good deal by the Lakers. Cheap deal. Again, it doesn't affect their cap space for next year, 2019. Good deal for everybody.
Yeah, I like it. Plus, they play together in Miami, so they know each other. He know what to expect out of Beasley. He know he's a character, but he still put the ball in the hole as we saw at the Knicks. And with that team, I think it's going to help him. I really do. What you thought about Danny D?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, low risk, high reward. He has somebody he can throw the ball to, so he don't have to. LeBron have to worry about the guy messing up. He's going to go to the basket, and he's going to put some points up. And, you know, Lance Stevenson offensively, he's shaky. But, you know, Michael Beasley gets buckets, so that's it. It's a good deal.
Yep. Let's see as they go along. Another guy I want to talk about, fellas, was Marcus Smart resigned. Got a lot of money to me. For the Celtics for 4 years at $52 million. What you thought about this deal, Danny D?
Yeah, Marcus Smart wasn't playing no games, man. He went to tell Danny Ainge, we got to sign out who his agent is. He wanted his money. I think if he didn't get his stuff like that, he was going to walk. I think he wasn't playing down. He was like, listen, Danny, you can play Isaiah like that, but you ain't playing me like that. I need my money. If not, I needs to be going. And I'm out of here.
Nah, he did say that, man. And he got it. He bet against it. That's one guy who bet for himself and actually worked out. But see, the team win. That's why I would say, if the team win, you always got a chance to get your money, man. A lot of times you got a chance. And not from them, from somebody else, just because you're on a winning team. That's just how it is. What you think about that, Flo?
LA, I agree with D. I really think Danny Ainge got threatened. Somebody threatened and told him, you better give Marcus Smart his money. You screwed it up with Isaiah Thomas. Better give this guy his money. Better give it to him. You know? And you know what? Congrats to Marcus Smart. He deserved it. He was telling everybody since the beginning of the season that he's a double digit. He should be making double digits in money every year. And he's right. He got it. He definitely got it. Congrats to Marcus Smart. By the way, I noticed the Nets were conversating with Marcus Smart, specifically Sean Marks, during the Summer League. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but I did see that. Interesting. Very interesting. Makes me wonder if Dan Ainge felt, really was real nervous about losing him. Even though the Nets never really formally made an offer to Smart. But, hey, once again, excellent job by Marcus Smart getting his money. Danny Ainge, still a scumbag. I'll say it. I'll say it again. Still a scumbag.
Yeah, I can't go no further with that, guys. I thought it was a little overpaid to me, but I know what he means for the Celtics. You want that guy as a glue guy. He's a defensive, can play a lot of different positions. So I understand in that regard. They're not really trying to get no cap space, so they're trying to be a win-now team, so I get it. As for the Nets, I could see him maybe talk to them, but I don't think they want to mess up their cap space for next year. They try and open up them to keep them 2 spots open. So, but you never know. Might have been watching it from the sidelines and thought about it. So I understand where you're coming from, Flo. Luke Mbamute was released from the Rockets, and he signed a 1-year deal with the Clippers. Contract negotiation was not available at this time that I saw. What you got to think about him going to the Clippers? Starting with you, Flo.
Once again, the biggest loser in that deal is the Houston Rockets. You let a guy who's known for his defense, you let him walk. Bad enough, you let Trevor Ariza walk. I know Trevor Ariza got a lot of money, but again, Trevor Ariza was part of that Rockets team, a 3-and-D defender. Mabute, another guy, good defender. Not known for his offense, but a very good defender. That hurt Houston a lot. Mabute, get your money. I believe LA, I think the offer is $3.5 million. I'm not sure, but I think it's $3.5 million. So, Mabute, get your money. Smart move by Jerry West and the Clippers.
And I hear where you coming from there, Flo. What do you thought about that, D?
Yeah, I don't same thing. I'm still confused. What is Houston trying to do? Because you made it to you made it to the Western Conference Final, right? And you're one game or making it to the finals, NBA Finals. You try to keep the same team together. You don't fix anything's not broken, so you letting these guys walk. Good move by the Clippers, Houston. If Carmelo comes, Carmelo don't play no defense. Remember that. Manu plays defense. You need people who can play defense and also put the ball in the hoop. All right, we got to see what y'all doing, Houston. Good job, Clippers.
I hear you, D. And you know this? It reminds me of what Dallas did with Cuban. Well, Cuban did with Dallas Mavericks after they won the chip and then let them repeat. Y'all didn't win the chip, but y'all had a really good chance to get back to that Western Conference Final. I don't like none of the moves y'all doing. Not a move. I think they trying to be too smart. Like, Darren Moore is really good as a GM. I think he does a good job. He's aggressive and everything. But I think he's overthinking stuff, and he could put round holes and square pegs. I don't know why you let Ariza go. Okay, he fell off a little bit from where he was. He didn't show up in that last game. I understand that hurt him. All right, but you going to let Mabute go too? I know he had the bad shoulder and everything, but your whole thing was predicated on stopping the Warriors by switching. Mm-hmm. And now you got rid of Mabute, you got rid of Trevor Ariza, and you're giving a hard time to my man Clint Capella. Get your money, Clint. That's going to put that on a T-shirt, fella. Get your money, Clint. Give him his money. The guy's played well. You giving him a hard time as well, too. I don't understand it. And now you're going to get Carmelo Anthony thrown into this, and you know him and D'Antoni don't like each other. You can tell that from the Knicks. Why put him in there when this guy's done a great job? And I think, wasn't he like the coach of the year last year? Or the year before, D'Antoni? So the guy had earned to play the team the way he wanted to play it. And now you're adding that, and it's like you could be a little click between him and CP3. Melo and that. I just don't like where they're going with this. You're getting weaker defensively, as you stated, Flo. And now you're bringing in Melo in there. And like I said, Melo had not shown me anything to make think he's going to change his game to fit in there. I really don't see it. I think this team is going to take a big drop off compared to last year. And they may still be in the playoffs and everything with that, but they're not going to be considered a real threat to me. That's just where I'm looking at it. But I don't know. I'm not liking it. I'm agree with Danny D in that regards. But I want to go to the next thing, fellas, real quick, was Brook Lopez, who didn't re-sign back with the Lakers. I was a little surprised with. And he signed with the Bucks for a 1-year deal. What you thought about this move, Danny D?
Just a good move for Milwaukee to get a big man, and Brook is just getting somewhere to play. But they didn't say how much he's getting, right?
I didn't see. I don't know if you saw it.
I didn't see it.
I got it. It's $3.4 million.
Okay.
$3.4 million. But he still got that big contract that he had before. So he is all right. So Brook, welcome back to the East. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you can put up some numbers and do some better numbers than Dwight, man. Do your thing, player. Yeah,
appreciate that, Flo. I don't know. I think it's a good deal. Like you say, he's a veteran presence. He'll help out in the locker room. He'll spread the floor. And, Atlanta, Budenholzer, he's a great coach to me. So I think he'll use him and find a way to make it fit in that offense. And that's one thing. They need somebody else to put the ball in the hole besides just on the Greek Freak, What else you want to add to that, Flo? What you thought about that move?
It's a good free agent signing by the Milwaukee Bucks. Got yourself a starting big man. Especially, you don't know what's the situation was going on with Don Baker. You guys heard about him, with that fight he had in Europe. So it's a good deal. Good deal, my Mike Budenholzer and the Milwaukee Bucks signing Brook Lopez. Good deal. Get your money. It's not much, but hey, something.
Yeah, that's what you got to hope for, little by little. You want to be in the lead. That's the main thing. And the last deal I want to talk about, fellas, was Shabazz Napier, who signed with the Nets for a 2-year deal. What you think about this deal, Flo?
I was actually trying to pull up the numbers, how many million it is, but again, another point guard by the Nets. They signed. That's probably the reason why they had no intentions of keeping Jeremy Lin on the roster. They were looking for a younger point guard that's healthy and that's going to play ball. You got to, that's your third point guard. It helps a lot. You can also slide D'Angelo Russell to the 2 if you want, if you have both him and Napier on the floor together. You also keep in mind you still got my man Spencer Dinwiddie on the team, a good backup and a spot starter to D'Lo. So it's a good deal by the Nets. It's a good deal by the Nets for Shabazz Napier coming to the East, coming back to the East. You started your career in Miami Heat, when LeBron James vouched on your behalf to Pat Riley to draft this kid. So it's a good deal. I don't know what Portland's doing. I don't know why they let him walk. So I'm not sure what Portland's doing over there. But, again, smart move by the Brooklyn Nets, Sean Marks.
Yeah, I was looking for it as well. I didn't see anything immediately released at this point. He had made like 2.3 last year, so I don't think much more than that probably. But good deal for them. Like I said, young player. He actually played his best season to me last year, so he'll fit into what the Nets are doing, trying to keep it young, not too many big contracts right now, and potential. The whole thing is they trying to grow people within their organization and mold them the way they want them to play. That's their big thing as well. So nice little move for them. I have no problem with it. What you think about it, Danny D?
It's a good move. I like Shabazz Napier. He can ball. He had a good season last season. He's a good backup. And if D'Angelo gets hurt and things like that, Shabazz can step up and play.
Yep. But we'll see as it goes along. Thank you there, fellas. I want to go to trying to switch things up real quick and talk about the impact international-wise of China and how it impacts the NBA right now. Because recently I talked about in the beginning of the show, it was forgive my pronunciation, is Zhang Jiang from the Flying Tigers are trying to sign Dwayne Wade to a big contract right now. And Dwayne Wade has a sneaker deal out there already. So I'm trying to see if this is going to be another option for players going forward, which they already had. Some players tried it before, Brandon Jennings and things of that nature. Marbury, he was basically became Hall of Fame out there with them. They embraced him way more than he was ever embraced in NBA. So I'm trying to see if this is going to be another thing for players as they go forward, especially with the economy, because China is really that big economy outside of the USA that's becoming that real big superpower economic-wise. So I'm trying to see if it's going to be something that's going to continue, or you think it's going to be a continuing pattern, fellas, or do you think it's going to be something like maybe this is an outlier? What do you think about this, Danny D?
Oh, it's definitely going to be something that's going to go in the near future because, a lot of since the back in the day, since like Dominic Wilkins and things like that, and players like Amari Stoudemire, when these guys retired from the NBA, they rejuvenate their career like the late, great Tractor Trailer. They went overseas and had great careers overseas. They overseas like Gilbert Arenas. These guys went out there and had great careers. So for like Dwayne Wade really reading an article about him, he won his championship. He did most of what he had to do in the NBA. So what's left for him is to go international, not promote himself now. Become a whole world name, international name. So be out there and go to China, play a couple of years. Maybe he can win a championship. If not, just to name Dwayne Wade outside in China be an excellent thing for him, So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. I think it's going to continue to move forward now when China comes over. It's becoming a very popular sport out there, and it's a good thing. And I personally know some people that actually go to China and they teach basketball and basketball academy out there, and they actually move from the U.S. and they live in China now.
And they say they enjoy it. They say they're very enthusiastic. What do they say with your personal?
They love it. They don't have to pay for nothing. They say not in a way like not with the U.S. They said that they like the U.S. and things like that. But over there they have the love for the game, and they're showing that the Chinese coaches embracing them, things like that. And these organizations, sports organizations, are paying for them to go out there rent free and things like that, and they love it. And they love it out there.
Okay, very interesting. Thank you for that take, D. D, what about you, Flo? What you think about it?
D's correct. With D Wade, if he's going to sign that deal in China, it allows him to open up his brand, so he get more exposure. He becomes now a global icon as opposed to a U.S. icon. So So I don't have a problem with it. With these NBA players going to China, remember, Dee mentioned this before, you got a lot of players there. Marbury. Remember, you got Jabari Parker there also. So you got ball players there, and U.S. ball players in China trying to survive, trying to revive their NBA career if it's possible. Maybe have the NBA take a look at them, maybe before they weren't taken seriously in the U.S. So if they go to China, now these NBA teams could take, these NBA scouts can really take a good look at these guys and say, you know what, this guy can fit in our team. Yeah, let's bring him back to the U.S. I don't have a problem with it. It's a win-win for both China and for these NBA players.
Oh, very true. Very true there, Flo. And like you said, I think it goes back to the brand. It's like people are really taking these players in particular, really taking advantage of their brand. And international-wise, like you said, that's a lot of people that can buy a lot of sneakers out there. You already got your brand out there, and they see you personally out there with them. That's going to have a different impact versus a player just selling it from across the country, as you saw with Marbury and things of that nature. So, hey, and plus I believe like the season not as long. So really, if you can just deal with the family situation for that amount of time, it may be something that's going to help you out for years to come, because you're not going to get that money here in the U.S. at this point in his career. He's not that type of player anymore. And Miami's not winning anything no time soon. So unless you're going to be globetrotting and following LeBron to L.A., and there's no guarantee you're going to win there either, there's really no move to make that's going to get you another ring automatically, anything at this point. Like you said, you already won his ring, so now it's about protecting your brand and building what you want to do for your family or legacy-wise. So at this point, I say, you can make that move happen, you do it, and see where you go from there if you feel comfortable about it. But I just want to talk about that. I saw that on the horizon. Also, I saw Jahlil Okafor was another player that was talking about. Several teams out there was on pursuing as well. So he kind of flamed out somewhat in NBA right now. Then worked for him with the Nets. I thought he was going to do a better job over there. He seemed to be in good shape. I saw some workout video he had also. But it's just not working for him right now. And this might be the best move for him. I want him for the Knicks a little bit, but they never really pursue him and didn't have the cap space to go after him. So thanks a lot there, Ron Baker. But as we go forward, I think it's a good move for Okafor too. What do you thought about that for Okafor real quick? What do you thought about that, Flo?
No, definitely. It allowed Okafor to revive his NBA, revive his basketball career. Unfortunately, it didn't work out from Philly, and with Brooklyn, he just didn't fit in their system. With Kenny Atkinson, he wants big guys that can shoot the rock. So Okafor is really not that guy. He's more of a back to the basket type of basketball player. So it makes more sense for him to just go overseas, get your money in China, rebuild your stock, and hopefully NBA scouts come watch you play and bring you back home to the U.S. when the time's right.
Yep, that's pretty much it. What about you, Danny D?
Yeah, Okafor's a young guy. So the thing is, if you go to China, if you get picked up in China, you're going to get picked up in the NBA. You can go to China, work on your game. And I mean work on your game, everything's a hybrid. Go out there, take jump shots, shoot threes. You don't got to be in the post. Shoot threes. You're 7 foot. They're going to love you regardless. Go work on your game. And if you don't get picked up by an NBA team, you're still going to have the Chinese league and still can make a career overseas. You can be like an Omar Cook and things like that and still provide for your family and still be a multimillionaire and getting paid for the game that you love.
Exactly. But we'll see as it go. I think the NBA is going to continue to change for a lot of players, and they're really going to think individually versus team-wise, which may not be so good for fans, though. But one other thing I want to talk about real quick in NBA Talk, fella, was an article I saw on Black Enterprise, and it was talking about LeBron James recently being signed by the Los Angeles Lakers. And the article called The Money Behind LeBron James Lakers Move by Ademola Abagula. I hope I pronounced the name correctly. And just briefly want to go over some things in the article. I'm going to put a link in it at the show notes if possible. And I just want to talk about, we talk a lot about how the NBA lead looks as the players going to the team and this team going to win. Right now, these players are really looking off the court. And you talk about a lot about this flow. So I just want to do a little follow-up regarding LeBron James and how he's going to impact the Los Angeles Lakers, potentially economic-wise. So just stay with me briefly, fellas. Just want to go over one thing that was in the article. They talk about when he went back to Cleveland from the first time when he left from Miami. And ticket sale jumped more than 100 times, jumping from $25 to $386 when he went back to Cleveland. And it sold out within hours when they was going to return to Cleveland and a 9-figure economic boost for downtown Cleveland. Now that's Cleveland. Imagine how it's going to impact Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers season ticket, which was selling for $3,499, these are season tickets, skyrocketed to $5,800 in just 20 minutes after that announcement, fellas. The Lakers preseason sale had double in price of $550 plus fees. That's just preseason, guys. Now you look at the number of eateries and bars within the mile of the stadium. When he was in Cleveland and went back, they said it increased by 13%, with employment and those establishments increased by 23.5%, while on hand those numbers dropped when James was no longer on the team. They were stated some of the cities that would have benefited the most for LeBron impact, I should say. Most was Brooklyn Nets. They could have had, I thought it was a lot, 1.2 million tax revenue, over 12,000 jobs, and it would have been a 1.7 billion economic impact. That's from one player. That's just with the Nets. Had he moved to Washington, D.C., he would have brought the nation's capital over $66 million in state tax revenue, 3,200 jobs, and more than $440 million in total local economic impact in 5 years. And lastly, they're saying his presence in Los Angeles Lakers will be $396 million economic impact on the city. In addition, the city will gain about 3,000 jobs and $29 million in state tax revenue. That's just what he's going to have on impact team-wise. They stated for him, lastly, his total earnings will be $400 million during his 4 years in L.A., just in endorsements, counting salary, and things of that nature. So that's what I'm saying. It's not just about the players going there anymore. They're looking at the total brand and total impact with these guys. Already, Magic Johnson made that team a winner. No matter what happened, if they lose or whatever, just potentially just off of that. So if they win, now it's icing on the cake, fellas. What y'all thought about some of them numbers? Starting with you, Danny D.
Yeah, that's what we were saying before. Look at Dan Gilbert, man. When he won the championship, before they were worth millions, now they're worth $1 billion. I don't know how much they're worth now since he left, but that just shows the impact that LeBron James has as a character and as a player and as a good guy, how much revenue. So when he left, the Cavaliers was in shambles. Not the team, but the city itself, because of the jobs and the impact that he brings to different communities and different states and things of that nature. So like somebody might say, that man has so much power. He really does. He really does. And I really think he should have been worth more, because you can't put into dollars how much LeBron James is worth, because you know what it is, because a Kevin Durant, no disrespect to Kevin Durant or Stephen Curry, they not moving money like that, and people are not seeing them like that. LeBron is a different type of player. They're not bringing money in like that for a city. They just can't do it. LeBron's a special type of guy, man.
Yep, and that's why he got his salary cap, because you couldn't afford him otherwise. What else you thought about those numbers, Flo, and what Danny D just stated?
Nah, those numbers are very impressive. You're right with LeBron James. At the end of the day, he does make an impact in terms of any city that any city, in terms of any city, in terms of that team he plays for. You know, when you look at Cleveland, you look at Miami, and now with the Lakers, definitely LeBron makes a tremendous impact. He's a very valuable commodity overall, and his presence alone can put fans in the seats and put fans in the bars, in the restaurants. So definitely, this guy is LeBron is not just a basketball player, but he's pretty much a global businessman.
Yep, and $400 million potentially over 4 years. He gonna make outside. Whew. He moved that meter, man. But, make sure to check that out, listeners. I'll leave the link in the show notes and let us know what you think. Always giving y'all a little taste of different things you may not hear in other podcasts if we try doing this show. But thank you there, fellas. NBA Talk. We had a lot to talk about regarding that. So I want to go right into our next segment briefly. Knicks Weekly Roundup, guys. Okay, and Knicks Weekly Roundup, guys. I want to talk about real quick. The Knicks recently released Troy Williams, a hustle guy, one of the small forwards, who had an injury at the end of last year, but came back and looked strong in the summer league to me. Briefly, what are your thoughts, guys, about them releasing Troy Williams? Starting with you, Danny D. That's
some old bull, man. I like Troy, man. He gets busy and things like that. My thing is, listen, how you gonna let him go? But I know you need the spots because you needed the two-way players and things like that to get the roster spot. But man, listen. somebody tell Ron Baker, let's buy this dude Ron Baker out, man. Buy him out. Phil's not here no more. You don't owe nobody nothing no more. The favor's done, man. No disrespect, Ron. You know, I don't know you personally, brother, but that needs to be Troy's spot.
Yeah, he does, man. It's hurting a lot of different ways now, man. What else you thought about that, Flo?
Again, another basketball player that's better than Ron Baker that's no longer with the Knicks team. It's really a shame. It really is, because when you look at a guy like Troy Williams, a hard worker, athletic, high flyer, 6'7", small forward. Yes, I know he's got to work on his jump shot. We all agree to that. But again, the guy plays defense. He's high energy. He's a quiet guy, and he's young. And he's a young guy. He's like 23 years old, 24 years old. There's potential there for him to get better. You know, I don't know why Ron Baker's still on his team, with the exception of that guaranteed money. But, you know, I haven't really criticized Steve Mills, but this was a bad deal by Steve Mills. This deal here was a bad deal. Giving guaranteed money to Ron Baker for a guy who's hurt most of the season, that's a bad deal by Steve Mills.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys, man. I mean, 23 years old, like you stated, Flo. And the thing is, you need that position. You got Lance Thomas there. Okay, I'm not a fan of him. We all know that. So it's like this guy bring you hustle, actually play good defense. And like you said, you could still have him grow on your team. I don't know why you would do that. With Baker's what you got. I don't see him getting much better than what he is right now. So I'm like, I know he's the one of the guys that didn't have a guaranteed contract, so that's kind of put him in that position. But I'd have found some way to keep him. Not saying he's going to be no superstar. We all don't know that. We don't know what's going to happen. But I don't see that. But I'm saying he actually was a legitimate commodity for this team. He actually could play him in a couple of different positions. He got some size. He got to be a plus, going down the road. I don't see why you let him go other than money. And this team, you need to get talent. And that was a young guy you took a fly on at the end of the year previously. So I thought it worked out. He was playing well in the summer league. Not a good move at all to me. I was upset to see that happen. But, Knicks will have to go forward and see where they go from there. Hopefully he end up with a good team and get a nice spot. Maybe Houston Rockets could use him. I don't know. Might be a good spot for him. But otherwise, fellas, I want to talk about real quick some of the realistic ways that you think the Knicks can create some much-needed salary cap space in order to sign two potential max players during next season free agent signing period. And the reason I brought this up because I hear a lot of people talking about rumors-wise, like Kyrie want to join Butler, so it might be a package deal. Also, you got KD might be a free agent next year. And I really would like them to get two spots. I see the Nets already got their two spots pretty much established. I would like to see the Knicks get that as well. I know the big albatross is Jakeem Noah holding up one of those spots. We pretty much going to have one, but the second one is going to be hard to get right now. So if you were GM, just doing this playing it wise, where would you go, fellas, and what type of move would you make? Starting with you, Flo. What type of move you think the Knicks possibly could make to free up a little more cap space?
All right, LA. So let me do my GM magic here. I want to go back. If I can remember correctly, if I can go back. See if I can move Courtney Lee. That's number one. See if I can move him to Utah and see if I can get a second-round draft pick in return. That's number one. Number two, I'll trade Tim Hardaway Jr. to the Sacramento Kings because Vlade Divac is in love with Tim Hardaway Jr. I'll trade him to Sacramento for the expiring contract of Zach Randolph, who's making $11.7 million, and Kostov Kustov, who's making $8.7 million. For Tim Hardaway Jr., who's making $17.4 million, plus a 2019 second-round draft pick. That'll be plan number two. Plan number three is on July 1st, 2019, I would waive Lance Thomas because only $1 million of a $6 million contract is guaranteed. That's what I would do as the GM of the Knicks. Your thoughts, gentlemen?
I didn't know about Lance Thomas. You going, Lance. Get that U-Haul ready. Get that U-Haul ready. I ain't know that one. That's a good move right there, right? You, Flo. I definitely signed up for that one. And the other move I signed too for Tim Hardaway. I definitely would think about that one too. I got a little move I want to go over with y'all guys when we continue on with this subject. What else you want to add to that, Danny D?
Yeah, I like that, Flo. I like that. Those two. But you already know what my thing is. You already tell y'all before what I'm saying. You already know where I'm going. I'm not doing no stress position, all that crap and stuff like that. Jakeem Noah, gotta go. Jakeem Noah, gotta go. Ron Baker, gotta go. Those are the people we gotta listen. We owe Joakim Noah, right? 2018, 18.5, right?
Right.
In 2019, 19.2. In 2020, remember how much he got signed for?
2020, he's unrestricted free agent though.
Free agent. But then how much money? How much money do you think it was supposed to be on that last year?
What do you mean?
How much money do you think is left on that contract?
No, after that is it. 2020 is over.
You sure?
Yep. I'm looking at right now on spot track. He got 18, like you said, 0.5, then 19.2, then 2020 unrestricted free agent.
But somebody got to take it up. So that's a lot of money, man. I told you get it running. And then Lance Thomas, like Flo was saying, 7 and then $1 million. That's the thing. So I'm going with Flo. So I'm getting rid of those two guys right there. And then Ron Baker with that 4.5.
Yeah, I would have let Baker go this year. Be honest with you. I would have let him walk this year. I'd have kept Troy Williams, found some type of minimum money to give him or something. And I'd have let Baker go. But the thing is, with Noah, I would definitely like to release him, but he's going to want his money just like Carmelo. And unless you trade him for somebody like they did with Melo and then waive him and have another team pay it, I don't see him just letting that money go. Because the thing is, you got to take, like Flo said before off the air, it's like 60% of his salary you got to be willing to take. That's like a player really wanted to be let out and can't stand it there anymore. If they could recoup it on free agency. He ain't going to recoup that. Nobody else going to be this foolish to sign Noah. This guy hasn't played in it over a year. He done had an issue with the coach. I don't know. He don't even look like the same player when he's out there. He ain't getting that money nowhere else. That's it. So I think he's going to want his money. Only way you got to get rid of him is if you do the stretch provision after September 1st. And the Knicks do that, they open up, I believe, like $12.1 million. So you have to either go that route or you got to trade him. One potential trade I saw that may work, we talked a little bit about this, guys. I want to get into a little more. And what you guys think about it was if you trade into Minnesota Timberwolves for, back to the guy, their coach. What's their main coach over there, Flo?
Tom Thibodeau.
There you go. Thank you, fella. Tom Thibodeau. That's his guy. So let's be reunited, and it feels so good. Put him back over there, man. And we trade him for Taj Gibson, who made $14 million, and Ty Jones that made $2.4. Now I know they really don't want to do that, but if you put the first round pick for next year and maybe make it lottery protected up to 1 through 5 or 1 through 8, maybe they might do that. What you guys think about that potential trade or a trade similar to that fashion? Will you be willing to trade a pick that's lottery protect 1 through 5 or maybe 1 through 8 to get rid of Noah and get that $19 million off, which will definitely help you get maybe 2 spots versus 1? Maybe go after Kyrie and a KD next year. You got to try to shoot for the moon, hit the stars, as they say. What you think about that, Flo?
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm doing it in a millisecond. I'm on the phone right now with Tom Thibodeau.
What about 1 through 5 lottery protected? Will you still do it?
I would prefer 1 through 8, but if, push come to shove, I'll be like, you know what? You win, Tom. 1 through 5. Done. Let's get it done. 1 through 5. All
right. I'm going to ask you one more with that before I go to D. What about no lottery protection? Would you still do it? Just to get rid of Noah contract, get that $19 million off for the following year.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, I'm doing it.
So both Gibson and Ty Jones are both 1-year contracts left. So that's the thing. They're both going to be free agents after this year. Versus Noah still got another year.
I'm doing it. I got to do it. I'm doing it. Not even thinking about it. I'm doing it.
Yeah, I would too. What about you, Danny D?
Yeah, you got to do it. You got to just to get rid of, because it was just a horrible contract, things like that go in the future. Because you're doing you're doing it and looking at the future that something happens is going to happen at the end, and that you're going to land. Because remember, it's New York. You're going to land somebody. Somebody's going to come if you have the opening. They're going to come. If the Knicks do good and open up space, somebody's going to come. It's horrible. I hate to give up talent, but you're going to get something in return, though.
That's the only thing, though. The Knicks don't get that many big-time free agents. Our free agent big-time was maybe Allen. Allen Houston, we got signed back. Maybe had Amari Stoudemire. But other than that, who we really had that was a big-time free agent that came here in their prime? I mean, we had the Chris Childs and things of that nature. That was a big deal when they got all three of them at Larry Johnson trade. But the players don't come here. They really don't. Everybody else we got was like a trade mostly. like you trade for Spreewell and after he choked out the coach and everything, and you got Camby and all those things. But the big play we tried to go after LeBron, he wouldn't come. We had to trade for Melo. You couldn't wait for free agency for us. So I'm like, that's the only thing you worry about. You really hope the Knicks show some real progression this year. Maybe KP come back late and play well to make a player want to sign up. That's why I really think you might need 2 spots. Because let's say KD decide he win a ring again this year, 3-time MVP finals, and he said, okay, time to build my team. I got to, hoping KP is healthy. But do I feel that confident with just this team and Knox and maybe Trey Burke play well? Maybe if I come with Kyrie, might make him sign that deal. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe I sign with Butler and KD. Maybe he might sign up. I don't know. But I'm kind of feeling like you might need that one more spot, guys. I mean, can you think another player, free agent, why that came here in their prime?
Amari Stoudemire, closest person.
That's the only person I could think about. Flo was Stoudemire. Yeah. So that's why I said the Knicks really have to sell themselves. You really got to do your job. Scott Perry, you really got to do your job there. But you said you would do this deal as well, though, Danny D, right?
Yeah.
Even without the lottery protection.
Yeah, you might have to, just to get it, because it's a horrible deal. Just to get the space, because the thing is, you think about it now, because you're not winning regardless. Look you got to take chances, and you got to. If you don't go up to bat, what's the point? It's like we're just sitting in the sideline. We're not in the game regardless. It's a lose-lose situation. You don't do it, you're still losing regardless.
Right, and with KP being hurt, this team gonna struggle again, guys. Yeah. So you're basically giving away a top 8 pick at least automatically, maybe top 5. And if you don't have no protection, that could come back to bite you. But if I could get that cap space over $19 million, guys, plus like you said, if you could do the deal with Tim Hardaway, and like you said, buy out Lance Thomas, that's going with Enes Ken not being re-signed. We're not re-signing him back $18 million or higher that following year. You should have enough space for at least 2 guys. If I can do that and I can guarantee me 2 guys, I'm gonna do it. I got to do it, man. Because that's the way the NBA is. You need at least 3 now. Before you needed 2 back in the day, but now you need about 3. So, but, listen to us and what you think. Betting too much, or giving away too much too early, or you think this is the right time to try to pull that move? Let us know. Okay. Well, pretty much that's the end of today's show, fellas. And for our listeners out there, this is most likely the final show of this season, season 2. So, unless something major happened in NBA, we might give y'all a quick little scoop and let y'all know what we think about it. But this is pretty much it for this season, guys. What do you think about any closing remarks for today's show, Danny D?
Thank you guys once again. Nice season once again, even though the Knicks didn't make the playoffs. It don't matter. We're going to try to keep on going next season. Appreciate your guys, fans. Keep on subscribing, keep on showing love. And thank you guys once again.
Thank you, Danny D. Much appreciated as always. How about you, Flo? You got any closing remarks for our listeners?
LA, this was a great season 2. I appreciate all of the listeners, old and new. I want to thank both of you gentlemen for allowing me to be part of this great show, Knicksfandom, the #1 independent basketball podcast in the world. We're all over the place. YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on Spreaker, SoundCloud, iTunes. We're all over. Listeners, thank you very much. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Great season. Let's go. I can't wait for season 3.
That's right, fella. Much appreciated, Flo. Thank you. Thank you, fellas. Season 2 is pretty much a wrap. Much appreciated, guys. Couldn't do without y'all. Definitely looking forward to season 3. We got a lot to talk about. We made some good strides. We're going to continue to move forward. And we got y'all podcasting listeners out there covered. Like Flo said, Spotify, YouTube, Apple, iTunes. Leave that review, man. Keep telling your friends, subscribe, leave a like on YouTube, and let the show continue to grow. We'll be here for y'all. If something else go down. And we also got some other things going on maybe throughout this season. Maybe a little follow-up show down the road. Stay tuned to our Spreaker account on there. And stay tuned to our YouTube page. You'll probably hear something there. But once again, fellas, thanks again. As I always say, see ya.